Welcome to Redbeard Radio. I am Brian Keith, and back in 2013, when I first became a Keep certified partner called Infusionsoft way back then, I also went ahead and got certified as a CustomerHub partner. CustomerHub was a membership site platform that let you sell your knowledge online that Keep acquired way back then, had in-house for a while, and then the founder went ahead and bought it back from Keep and has been developing it himself now for a while and bringing it back into the spotlight. We have that founder today here with us, Kyle Leavitt, who is going to help us understand how it is that companies are selling their knowledge online to go support the rest of their company, and why it is, in a crowded field, why CustomerHub is a good choice for some people. Kyle, welcome to Redbeard Radio.
Thanks for having me, Brian. It's a pleasure to be here. And, we've got a lot going on in the world today, but one of the things that's important to me is to help people navigate that. And I'm happy to be here today to talk about ways that we can support in that.
I love it. Well, the first question is, how does a person who knows what a membership site is, they know, yes, selling my information automatically or having an add-on, there's an infinite number of ways to deliver that. And let's give a specific example. I have my Redbeard Accelerator. It's a mastermind. The main content piece is there's 2 calls a week live with me and all the other members who show up that particular call. We dive into a member's problems. This last week, we had how do you promote your podcast once you've started it for one of the members starting their own podcast. For another person, it was how do I get my team excited again after our companies come under social media attack. For a third person in the accelerator, it was how do I figure out which of my brands to focus on. So we had great live content, and there's a recording of it that lives on Wistia, but there's a lot more that we could do with that to go create more value for current members and sell new members into the group. Because right now, it's just a Wistia recording. So I guess real quick, before we dive into why CustomerHub of the million choices out there, real quick, I'm already creating content. What's the brief version of why CustomerHub is a good answer to take that Wistia recording that's just sitting there that I've already created and turn it into something where I can get more value out of that money and time that I've already spent?
Absolutely. I appreciate you giving that backdrop, giving a few examples, and really, what we're talking about here is the field of knowledge commerce. That includes membership sites. That includes really any kind of digital product offering, whether it's an online course, whether it's a podcast that you take and monetize, whether it's some trainings that you've done that you want to either monetize or protect and provide additional value using those resources. So all of this falls under the umbrella of knowledge commerce. And really, as entrepreneurs, we are limited in how much we can do in a day. Many of us are providing services, coaches, coaching, consulting, training. Sometimes that's one-on-one. Sometimes that's in a group setting. And sometimes it's live. Usually it's live as entrepreneurs. But I think the example that you gave is a great one is, I'm already producing this content. And how can I better leverage that content in my marketing, in my business to either, increase leads or grow my revenues? And, CustomerHub is one of the many tools out there that will help you do this. And I think the question you originally asked, now that I'm, 30 miles down the rabbit hole, is how is CustomerHub different? Did I hear that correctly?
Yeah, I think about of all the different tools that my clients are using, have used, have considered using, both my COO clients and also the members in the accelerator. That we have all the way from a tool like Thinkific, where it's it's just the thing that people know how to use. Like, well, should I use that, or should I use CustomerHub, or should I use a WordPress solution where it's a plugin that lives on WordPress, and now your WordPress site has a component, and there's just this bewildering array where, for someone who's not already fluent in a bunch of these tools, how does a person even know what tool to use? What kind of decision matrix can they use?
Well, I think the first thing that they ought to be asking themselves is, how much am I prepared to manage this in terms of time and resource investment, time and money investment into this tool? I think that's the first place where a lot of people get tripped up is either number one, they don't have the technical skills themselves to be managing the technology aspect of it on their own. For someone that has like a WordPress site, that's something that we see that comes up a lot, because WordPress has sort of been, the de facto standard for a number of years for entrepreneurs and small businesses. And, that platform has been running for a great many years now. And it can be very challenging to manage that now in, 2022 and beyond as an entrepreneur, when you want to start doing some more sophisticated things like a membership site, like online courses. Now we're talking about plugins, probably multiple plugins, a level of technical involvement that most entrepreneurs are uncomfortable with. And so CustomerHub takes that element out of the equation. It does all the technology for you. It does all the hosting, the security, the updates, and it really just makes it super simple to turn the key, get a few digital products up online in 30 minutes or less. Really, you can, if you've got all the content ready to go, you can have those products up and published and online and available in 30 minutes or less with CustomerHub. So that's the first part of the decision-making process is how much budget, time, technical competence do you have available to invest into doing this? If it's very little, then I would recommend a tool that does some of the technology for you. And CustomerHub is in that camp. You mentioned Thinkific, and there's others out there like Thinkific. There's Kajabi, there's Teachable, there's Podia. There's all these tools that are designed to take the technology aspect off of your plate, and CustomerHub falls into that camp. So that's number one. Number two is, if you want the technology done for you, a hosted solution like CustomerHub and some of the others that were mentioned there, then what differentiates those? And really, I would speak to a couple of different things. Number one is really, I think about integration. So what are the tools that you're already using in your business? And what of those hosted solutions, which of those hosted solutions is going to work best for your existing technology platform, the software that you use, the tools that you use? And there's a pretty drastic difference in those solutions in terms of how they work with your existing tools and software. Kajabi is a good example of a solution that has taken a very, very much of an all-in-one approach. Mm-hmm. And so they sort of pay lip service to integration, but really, when you look at what Kajabi is doing, they're positioning themselves and they're really attempting to be the one solution to run your entire online business.
Well, this reminds me of ClickFunnels, where ClickFunnels used to integrate with Keep fairly well.
Yes.
And then they released their own version of some of the stuff that Keep does. And then suddenly it sort of integrates.
Right.
And sort of doesn't work if you have a client and you're sending out 200,000 emails and then the integration slightly breaks, but not really.
Yeah.
I've had a significant, and not just ClickFunnels, other tools as well, where it just doesn't. I had a client with MemberPress where like I've had issues, man, where those integration issues, especially during the launches, which of course is where they seem to pop up. And then suddenly, instead of me spending my brain on sales page optimization or text message strategy or something where the money is, I'm spending it on tech support and troubleshooting. That's one of the things why I'm looking at your page right here to become a certified partner again, the newest, oldest certified partner. I'm thinking, and when your pricing is interesting, tell us about his. So a lot of these tools, $100 a month is the base amount, and then it goes up from there. That's basically all of them. Thinkific, I think it's $100 a month, and then it goes up from there. Your pricing is $79 a month, but you don't have any additional tiers. What's going on there?
Yeah, there's no threshold limit. So we're fairly early on in the development of our new platform. From a pricing standpoint, that's not really our priority right now. So we have one plan just to make it super easy. It's unlimited everything. That's unlimited products, unlimited administrators, unlimited end users. We just want it. We want to make it easy for people to get started. And so sometimes people get tripped up depending on where they're at in their business with all these different plans that are out there, and they get concerned about costs, and they should be concerned about costs because some of those other platforms can get very pricey very quickly. And what we're focused on is helping people to get up online fast, as quickly as possible with as little risk as possible. So we offer a free trial, 14 days. You can have some products up online and test them before you ever even pay for the product. And that's our intention and focus right now, is to help people get up online fast and easy, get all the garbage out of the way, and just make it easy for people. So one plan, $79 a month. It's unlimited everything. I can't promise that will always be the case. It likely will not be, but for now, anyone who comes into the CustomerHub family, they'll be grandfathered in at that price forevermore in the future. They'll pay $79 a month. So
Love it.
it's a pretty straightforward model. It works great for both new businesses who are like testing their first online course or their first membership site. Maybe they're not sure if it's going to work. Maybe they haven't sold it before and they want to get something up quick and test it out. CustomerHub's like perfect for them. But it's also great for established businesses who are looking to just maximize profitability. And if you already have tools that you're using and you don't want to move your entire operation over to an all-in-one system like Kajabi, then CustomerHub works great because you can plug it in to your existing operation and it works really well. I mean, integration is sort of our calling card. That's what we do better than anyone else, is we integrate with the tools and the software that you're already using super deeply so that you get a very functional integration that's like as automated and hands-free as possible.
I'm reading Dobbin's testimonial here for you on your website, customerhub.com, where it says, we use CustomerHub to onboard new employees.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really interesting. I have something like 4 or 5 audiences that I have unmet needs for, which of course that means money could be coming in. We have people who have not given me any money yet, but would if there was something they could buy that was appropriate for them, the level of knowledge and the level of cost. Like I have my COO package, $10,000 a month, and there's no space available. Okay, that does no one any good. But if there was a small product from one small thing I did for one COO client this week, and I said, hey, here's a tutorial on how to do thing X, great, $20. Okay, so I don't have that right now. Haven't got around to it. I'll do it later, man. I just haven't gotten around to it. So there's the prospects right there. Then there's the customers of the mastermind, where, like I was saying before, I have all these recordings. I could have a VA chop up those recordings, put them in CustomerHub, and say, hey, here's an easy place to go ahead, search for that. Then I have my staff, like Dobbin's talking about, for his onboarding new employees. I have 2 companies. I have, I don't know, a dozen-ish people between the 2 companies. And so as I get SOPs written for things, a lot of those are just going into Google Drive, which is way better than nothing, but it doesn't really help with a new person exactly. And I can imagine saying, like, for the producer of a webinar for my company, Letters Online Training, say, okay, here's the 10 parts of your job. Go ahead, document all those, and create a training course on how to do exactly what you're doing, and go store it somewhere where I can actually evaluate, did a new person actually go through them? So that's curious. And then I also have, there's a 5th category there, I'm sure. Right, podcast listeners. So what about free stuff just to get people involved and get them off their podcast app and into my email list? Well, if I was able to, like, for each episode say, hey, I have the show notes from this episode, and let's say those are on redbeard.am, but there's also a special thing, here's your free additional thing. Just give me your email and I'll give you some bonus that Kyle and I put together for you about, your first 90 days of your new membership site, a special interview with Kyle and I. Well, that's fun. And if I had an easy way, because I don't have a lack of ideas, right? I have a lack of execution, which I find is true for 100% of people I talk to for a decade.
Yeah, that's typically the challenge for us crazy entrepreneurs, is we have 47 different ideas. We know they're all going to be awesome, but like implementing them and systematizing them is where things break down. So focus on 1 or 2 of the best use cases that you see. You've spoken into some of the less common use cases of a membership site, like Dobbin uses CustomerHub to have an automated process for onboarding new employees and taking them through their culture trainings and other stuff that they want all of their new employees over at Get You Wired to go through. And then they even have like specific onboarding resources for people depending on the department that they're in or the area of focus in their business. So, that's another use case for CustomerHub. And for membership sites is like there's hundreds of different use cases. Another one you mentioned is using it as a sort of lead generation tool where you're offering valuable resources to people that are free, but they have to opt in order to get access. And so that's a great way to grow your list. And it's also a great way to generate traffic into like a higher dollar like coaching offer, like what you offer. I think you said you have a $10,000 a month product. It's like,
but that's not available. What's available is the mastermind. That's what I'm focused on, and that's at a very affordable. Right now, it's $197 a month. It's going to be going up shortly. But in my perfect world, I have all these podcast listeners, and they apparently like how I think because they're subscribed. And giving them something free. I see right now episode 150 is going to go live tomorrow. I have something like 6 months of back content that's going to be released over the next 6 months.
Yeah.
I have a lot of content. So I have something like, if I could do math, like 200-ish episodes of this podcast recorded. Well, that's 200 lead magnets. And I could have my team. So I have my podcast episodes. I have my Redbeard Accelerator calls, which some parts of that, when it's just me talking, can be snipped out, like a 3-minute me explaining how to do something. And that could be put out there for free behind a paywall, behind an email opt-in thing. But then I also have client calls where someone on my team could go through those, find out how, when I explain a certain thing unique to that client, and then extract the principles, like write a PDF. Here's how I would do X, and then make sure there's no client information in there, right? And that it's something that's my creation. And that could be a great thing to go share.
Absolutely. And all of those things.
All this work. There's all this work that I'm not monetizing on, and it bothers me.
Well, all you have to do is upload that stuff to your CustomerHub app, and you can turn those into resources. And the trainings themselves and the coaching sessions themselves, CustomerHub makes for a great repository for your clients. Rather than them having to go try to access Dropbox links or something else where you're storing those calls, you just upload them to CustomerHub. All of your clients have a single login where they can go get access to all of their trainings and other resources with your business. So,
well, and the hiring thing too. I'm hiring for one of my 2 companies is hiring aggressively, and I manage a significant portion of the hiring for all 3 of my COO clients.
Yes.
So I actually have a lot of people I'm onboarding and trying to figure out, okay, how much I've educated this new person over here about how that particular client does things, which is a little bit different than that client over there. And then there's my training company. We got to go hire another producer, and how much training do they have? And do I know when they're actually trained? Who do I ask? Hiring for 4 companies it's complex. And right now it's substantially inside my skull, which is a terrible way to scale anything, right?
It is. I mean, for entrepreneurs or small business owners that are hiring more than, 3 or 4 people a year, that might be something that, hiring 2 or 3 people a year. Okay. Like there's an argument to be made there that the ROI on, making that automated may not be there. But if you're growing and you're hiring more than that, like you really ought to think about having an automated onboarding system for your new employees. I mean, how much time it takes, Brian, when you hire a new person, how much time it takes out of your schedule to get that person onboarded.
It's incredible.
So it can get pretty expensive pretty quick if you're doing that on a regular basis. And, especially when 60, 70, 80% of what you're training these people on is the same thing over and over and over again.
Yeah. I'm building out a sales team for one of my companies, and part of the thing is, okay, take a person who's not familiar with Keep, get them trained on the parts they have to know while ignoring everything else.
Yeah.
That's a very specific thing. And I can imagine doing a 10-minute, 20-minute Loom thing and just saying, okay, this is now part of the training for that particular role. Oh, and also there's these other 2 roles that should have access to this, so it's not required for them in the same way that it's required for that first role.
Absolutely. Yep. You could put all that up in there, and, you can have access levels specific to your employees, where they only see the stuff that is available to employees. And it's all one system that's managing all of that access to your clients, to your employees, to your leads, and they're logging in and getting an experience that's catered to where they're at in their in their own customer experience or experience of engaging with your business.
I love it. Well, let's wrap up here with how someone gets started. If they want to go explore, they want to do the 14-day trial, see how this thing works. What is a great first project? I described a lot of complex stuff, right? What's a great first project for someone to sign up and see an ROI before their free trial ends?
I think our most popular right now product template, and this is another benefit of CustomerHub, is like we provide templates for best practice templates for the different types of products. So for someone who say wants to do a mini course, which is a very popular thing to do right now, micro learning is hot. Everyone's doing a course. We're all TikTok and Instagram Reels trained, where like our attention spans are low. So mini courses are a great way to get started with digital products. I would encourage someone to get a mini course up using CustomerHub in their 14-day free trial. And, typically that's 3 to 5 lessons, 10 to 15 minutes each on each lesson. So it's not a big chunk of time to chew up to produce it. You can produce it with your iPhone and, a simple mic. It's not expensive to produce either. But you can go to customerhub.com, click on Get Started, sign up for a free trial. You can, produce a very basic mini course that will provide a lot of additional value, either onboarding high ticket clients into a funnel or just charging for the mini course if you already have an audience that's ready to go with what you're going to be training and teaching. So that mini course is really the most popular product template that we have in CustomerHub right now. And if people are looking for a great place to get started, I would say that they should start off with a mini course, because you can use it for a lot of different things, and then just continue to add and grow that online repository with other assets that you've already recorded. Most people have a mini course already recorded and they don't even know it. If you've done a webinar or a training before and you've recorded it with Zoom, then you've probably got a mini course right there, and you can just cut it up and follow the product template in CustomerHub to get it up online and have something up really quickly that will begin to move the needle for you.
Love it. And if you folks have a VA, then you might be able to do what I could do, which is I have been doing the Redbeard Accelerator since February 2021. We're recording this in June of 2022, which means I have something like 100 or 120 of these accelerator calls. It's like 200 hours or 100 to 200 hours of content, which we have a lot of conversations in there.
It's a lot of stuff.
It's a lot. So going through there and grabbing out what is appropriate, either where it's just me talking, not revealing any of the members' information, and I can put that in one space on CustomerHub that's free when you sign up free. And then if you join the accelerator, this library, includes 55 marketing videos, 100 tech talk videos, 34 videos on starting your podcast. And suddenly I have a library that already exists.
Yeah, and that can be a good mechanism to just generate more revenue in the business. It can also be a good mechanism to retain your paying clients in your services or other offerings that you're delivering. So like, it can be used in a variety of different ways. And sometimes people are like, well, I don't really need a membership site, or there's not really an application in my business. And every time I hear that, I'm like, well, actually, let's chat. And in almost every type of business, you can find a great application to deliver more value to your clients and to generate more revenue using a membership site. So it's a great place to grow your business and to find new and different ways to increase revenue that aren't necessarily going to chew up more of your own time. That's the beautiful thing about this.
Yeah.
You can generate some recurring revenue and actually like deliver it in an automated way, and spend more of your time doing the things that you want to be doing in your business, and less of your time hustling to earn more business and to deliver on the things that you're selling. So automate the delivery.
Beautiful, Kyle. Where can folks find you on social media?
On Probably the best place is to just go to we have CustomerHub on Facebook. If you go to Facebook and search for customer, you'll find our business page there. We're on Twitter, we're on Instagram, and myself personally, you can find me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. If you go to our website, customerhub.com, go to the About Us page, you'll see my profile there that'll link out to all of my personal social media profiles that I'm active on.
Wonderful. Kyle, thanks for being on Redbeard Radio.
It was my pleasure, Brian. It's always great talking to you.